Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Centennial softball field here in Ankeny, Iowa. Tonight's Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Class 5A Region 3 semifinal game matches Urbandale out of the Central Iowa Metro League. They have an overall record of 10 wins and 27 losses against the home team on the scoreboard, Ankeny Centennial, also out of the Central Iowa Metro League, with an overall record of 30 wins and 9 losses. The winner of this game will advance to play the winner of the Waterloo West Cedar Rapids Kennedy game in the championship of Region 3 scheduled for next Tuesday night. We ask that all spectators exhibit good sportsmanship towards our umpires, our coaches, and our players. Now let's meet the starting lineups for each team. First, for the visitors on the scoreboard, the Urbandale Jayhawks. Leading off for the Jayhawks, playing center field, number 2, Sarah Webster. In the 2 spot, wearing number 1, the right fielder, Maddie Reed. Batting third behind the plate tonight, number 26, Tatum Johnson. In the cleanup spot, playing left field, wears number 3, Riley Pruitt. Batting fifth, playing third base, number 19, Sydney Hassan. Batting sixth, the designated player, number 17, Peyton Trainer. In the 7th spot, wearing number 15, shortstop, Ella Schott. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 13, Chloe Repp. And batting ninth, the first baseman, wearing number 5, Haley Crowdus. In the circle tonight for the Jayhawks, the flex player wearing number 10, Aubrey Schumann. The Jayhawks are coached by assistant coaches Scott Hauser, Emily Rottinghouse, Ty Sharon, and Allison Yoder. The head coach is Amber Salman. And now for the designated home team on the scoreboard, the Ankeny Centennial Jaguars. Leading off for the Jags, she wears number 19, left fielder, Mary Brantley. In the 2 spot, she wears number 22. She plays second base, Ava Faber. Batting third, she plays third base, wearing number 25, Jordan Kennedy. In the cleanup spot, plays center field, wearing number 11, Maddie Ott. Batting fifth, she's in the circle, wearing number 17, Corey Lincecum. Batting sixth, the designated player, wearing number 23, Lauren Bartine. Batting seventh, behind the plate, wears number 26, McKenna Foster. In the 8th spot in right field, wearing number 15, Gracie Anderson. And batting ninth, she wears number 9, plays shortstop, Tammy Starr. And the flex player tonight at first base, wearing number 28, Delaney Weibel. The Jaguars are coached by assistant coaches Ashley Allen, Torrin Bennett, and Sammy Miller. The head coach is Brett Delaney. The umpires for tonight's game are Mark Amadeo behind the plate, Deidre Moore on the first base line, and Eric Gilson on the third base line.
Freedom Tire is proud to be the title sponsor of supporting Jaguar student athletes through Centennial Digital. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping your family safely on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Come see us at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of Centennial Digital.
We're here at US Cellular, Frost Days, where our customers get exclusive deals just for them.
It's like we got our own special club.
Should we show them?
Get $1,200 off any phone plus $500 off any tablet. Us Days at US Cellular.
So when an athlete walks into Nick Garage Fitness, the one thing we want them to know is that this is a phenomenal community. We have the best coaching. We have the best technology. We have the programming that can help them succeed. So whether it's trying to get on JV for the first time, going to that next level on varsity, going from a second string to an all-state player, we have the tools, we have the programming and the coaching in order to take each individual to their next level.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire. Andy Pollock and Kevin Fisher. We get set to go as the Jags are hosting Urbandale, getting ready to play them for the 4th time this year, and this time is when it gets big time because this is postseason softball. And we are ready to go, and there's always something that hits a little bit different in postseason softball here on the north side of Ankeny.
Definitely is, Andy. It's the time of year everybody's back at 0-0. You just throw out the records, and then you kind of start from scratch tonight, and you try to win one game at a time and make your way onto the state tournament.
And, of course, tonight, with it being the postseason, we're in audio only for now. If you'd like to help out and get some of our streams on the air, there's fees involved with it. So if you'd like to help out with that, if the Jags win tonight, they'll play again on Tuesday night. And we'd love to get some sponsors to make sure we can get the video on the air for that. But the Jaguars come into tonight's game, a record of 30-9. They're 3-0 against Urbandale on the season. And anything, Fish, you and I have been around Centennial softball each for a long time. You know when Urbandale comes to town, you're going to get the best effort from Coach Salmon and even before her, but you can never take Urbandale lightly no matter what the record shows.
No, you can't, definitely. Every time Urbandale comes to town, just as you mentioned, they come to play, show up and try to take care of business, and they're going to come out tonight, and I expect them to be competitive early on here, definitely.
Really do. They're going to start off Sarah Webster, the senior center fielder, and Sarah Webster feels like she's been playing for Urbandale since she could walk. We've seen her out there for a long time. Very talented center fielder, but she really does it from the left side of the plate. The hitter, leadoff batter, comes in batting .435. Corey Linscomb in the circle tonight for the Jaguars as she looks in, and the first pitch is a strike on the outside corner, according to home plate umpire Mark Amadeo. Jordan Kennedy at third, Cam Starr at short, Ava Faber at second, Delaney Weibel at first, and McKenna Foster, the senior catcher for the Jaguars. Big swing and a miss there as a fastball comes in from Linscomb. Out in left field, Mary Brantley, the leadoff batter. Maddie Ott, again, she's been playing forever for the Jaguars in center. And Gracie Anderson in right field, the freshman getting the start tonight, the speedster. 0-2 the count right now. Swung on and right to Jordan Kennedy at third base, a line out for out number 1. And that's a big one in this one in front of a huge home crowd tonight.
Yeah, Urbandale brought the fans tonight, and they always have, and I expected that. And, just kind of you want to jump out in this early right away and kind of set the tone of the game and see if you can get 3 up, 3 down, and get the bats out there, because we know this year the Jaguar bats have been very hot. But you got to play some defense first.
This Urbandale early part of their lineup is incredibly talented. Maddie Reed up, and she pops up, and Jordan Kennedy comes in from third base again on the bunt. And a quick 2 up, 2 down. Jordan Kennedy staying busy over in the hot corner.
Good heads-up play again there by Jordan Kennedy, seeing the left-hander coming up with a little bit of trying to slap bunt there and making the play. The ball just got a little pop-up, so those are a little bit easier.
Well, and here's the really tough part of the Urbandale lineup, but you get Tatum Johnson up, the catcher, batting .402 on the season. She's got a boatload of home runs. You get her up right now, everybody's back to normal depth around the infield as Linscomb looks in, and Johnson decides she's going to take time out. It is a gorgeous night here. Summerfest time in Ankeny. And it is absolutely beautiful in town. 78 degrees with the wind that was blowing out to right field at about 8 to 10 miles an hour, and now it's stiffened. It's gone down quite a bit as the first pitch to Johnson is a little bit low for ball one. Probably got that one a little fat on the plate even.
Just a little bit, probably more than Lincecum wanted at that point, but fortunately it was down low. This is a batter, you just got to protect. We've sat here in the postseason and watched her knock him out a couple times, so you got to be careful with her.
Tatum Johnson has been really, really good for Coach Amber Salmon, and that one gets around on a bunch, and Lincecum being very careful right now. That one was up in the zone, being very careful not to give Tatum Johnson anything too fat to hit right now.
Yeah, this is a situation where, with nobody on base and you get the first 2 outs already, just, you can work your way around the outside of the plate and just be careful with what you're trying to throw at this moment.
1-1 the count right now to Johnson as Lincecum looks in. Foster set up way outside, and that ball is pitched right to her mitt, moved her inside again, and now it's 1-2.
A little bit of a miss again, but still kind of on the outer part of the plate, just and maybe just down a little bit, but still caught a part of the strike zone.
1-2. We'll see what Lincecum goes to for the punch out. I imagine you might see one of these balls in the dirt right now to Johnson. You don't want to give her anything good to hit. Foster moves outside once again, and that ball's popped up again. Started missing that a little bit more over the plate.
Right, yeah, just as we're watching here early on, and this is one of those things. It's postseason, you get a little bit of jitters. You kind of miss your spots early on, maybe once in a while, but just start getting a little bit more solid as you go.
1-2 as Johnson gets ready. Riley Pruitt waits on deck. Jaguars trying to get out of this first inning unscathed. 1-2 pitch, Lincecum. Off-speed pitch and dropped a little bit early. It looked like he was coming in hot and dropped off the table. And good job of Johnson on reading that one and evens up the count at 2 apiece.
That was a good ball on both sides. Lincecum, that was a good change-up and change of speeds in that situation, but Johnson had her eye on it and was a good watch for ball 2.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the first. Foster outside again, swing and a miss, and Foster drops it but quickly tags Johnson for the out. 3 up, 3 down for the Jags in the top of the first, and this crowd's excited. We go to the Jaguar half right after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire. The Tiger takes us into the bottom of the first. The Jaguars will lead off with Mary Brantley, Ava Faber, Jordan Kennedy will be the number 3 batter. If any of them get on, Maddie Ott will try to clean things up as Urbandale will give the start tonight to junior Aubrey Schumann. Schumann 5-13 on the season with a 6.54 earned run average. And we've talked, Urbandale kind of in a similar boat to Centennial. You've had a couple of your pitchers have the bulk of the innings throughout the course of the year, but there's a couple different routes they could have gone tonight with their starters well in this playoff game.
Yeah, when you look at you just look at the numbers, it seems there's 3 of them there on the other side with Schumann they're running with, but also have Barry and Romy in there, and they've all kind of thrown similar number of innings, maybe Schumann maybe a few more, but you really could have put any one of those individuals out there tonight.
Mary Brantley will lead things off for the Jaguars. Senior left fielder, bats .245 on the year, but she gets on base 44% of the time, and that's why she's the leadoff batter. Sydney Hassan is the third baseman. Ella Schott, the shortstop. Chloe Reck at second. Haley Crowdis at first, and Brantley watches the first pitch right down the middle for a strike. Tatum Johnson, the catcher. Riley Pruitt in left. Sarah Webster in center. Maddie Reed in right field for Coach Amber Salmon's Urbandale Jayhawk squad, all dressed out in red from head to toe tonight with their blue numbers on their uniforms. Jags in white as Brantley watches that second pitch curve outside a little bit, evens up the count at 1 apiece.
Just got off the plate there for Schumann. Started across the outside corner and then just broke off just enough where Mark Amadeo think that was quite on the zone.
Outfielders playing pretty deep right now on the 1-1 count to Brantley. She's got a couple home runs on the season, and that pitch is too far outside as well. So Brantley looking at pitch number 4 right now. That's why she's up there. Sees a lot of pitches from that leadoff spot.
That's one of the things that she's, over the years, we've seen her improve upon. Is I think she was a little anxious early on, but she's been a lot more patient with the at-bats, and almost to the point where it's like, okay, you can swing now a couple times this year.
The 2-1 off-speed pitch upstairs. 3-1 now to Brantley, and she's not one you want to leave anything too good to hit.
Nope, she's got power too, right in that leadoff spot. Like you said, she's already hit a few home runs this year, and up and down that lineup, I think there's only one person out there that might not have had a home run yet this year.
There is a buzz in this crowd tonight on the 3-1 pitch. Up and away, leadoff walk for Mary Brantley.
Real good job by Brantley. They're doing what she's supposed to be doing off the top of the order, finding her way on base, and doesn't matter how. Hitting or walking, doesn't matter.
Ava Faber, the second baseman, batting .342 on the season, and that's gone up considerably over the last third of the season. And they're going to bring in Hassan from third base and Crowdis from first, as they're expecting a sacrifice bunt right now from Faber. And she's going to swing away, actually. Watches the first pitch on the inside corner. You might have heard the Jaguar crowd didn't like that call, but it's 0-1 right now. And now I think we might be seeing a bunt from Faber as she took that first pitch. Jordan Kennedy waiting on deck. Schumann takes her time there in the circle. In the corners, big infield, though, at second and short. Faber shows bunt, pulls away, and the ball is out and away as Schumann was trying to get a pop-up to that right side.
It was a kind of a good counterpunch. I think Urbandale looked like they were expecting that on that time, and they went to a pitch out, and Faber was able to pull the bat back before she was going to get the call.
In hard on the corners again. They're halfway home, both the first and third baseman, and Faber pops that one up. Now you're going to see those corners move back to normal depth on a 1-2 count to Faber.
Yeah, I think they're going to creep back a little bit here.
It's a Western night here at Ankeny Centennial, so a lot of the Jaguar faithful out here in their cowboy hats, including Centennial Activities Director Nate Lindgren. He's out here celebrating his anniversary tonight. What better way to do it than at a softball game? That pitch gets away initially from Johnson. Brantley started towards second but saw the ball stay in front of Johnson, so she went back to first. I think she probably could have made it. She's regretting that decision right now.
There's probably a little bit of a conversation right now. Just caught a late break there, and then by the time it was time to she decided to maybe go, it was like, nope, can't go.
2-2 the count to Faber. Pitch is low, and now the count is full. Wind is picked up a little bit, maybe from 4 to 5 miles an hour as it blows out pretty much straightaway center right now. Straight into the bog.
Delaney Cove.
Delaney Cove, that's right. Full count pitch to Faber with Brantley on first. Upstairs, 2 walks to start things off for the Jayhawks. And now you have no way to pitch around Jordan Kennedy.
No, now you're getting to that part of the lineup where you're going to have to decide how aggressive are we going to be in pitching and situational deal here, especially when the first 2 batters get on. And we're walking into Kennedy, Ott, and Lincecum. We've all seen hit the ball out of the park pretty easily this year a few times.
Jordan Kennedy steps up with runners on first and second. She's going for the Triple Crown in the state of Iowa this year. The first pitch inside on her to make it 1-0. She's not going to see anything good to hit. She bats .543. She gets on base 65% of the time, and also she's within shouting distance right now of the all-time home run record in the state of Iowa in a season.
Yes, her numbers are right there. It's just incredible what she's done in her junior year, and like I said, we're looking forward to more.
Gets around on that one, thinking double play right now as a play picked up by Hassan over at third. Kennedy's safe at first, though, on the fielder's choice. Brantley is out at third base, and that'll bring up Maddie Ott. I think Jordan was regretting that swing, just mistimed it quite a bit.
Yeah, she was just off on that swing. The way the pitches had been going and the counts have been going so far, she maybe got a little impatient there. And Urbandale definitely take that out.
That'll bring up Maddie Ott. She's batting .381 on the season with Faber on second and Kennedy on first. Ott watches that first pitch outside for ball 1. Ott with a bunch of home runs in her name this year, 12 of them. One of 3 Jaguars that are in double figures for home runs on the season. one of 8 Jags who have hit a home run on the season. And it's 1-0 to Maddie, who has provided us with some incredible memories at the plate over the last 4 years. That pitch is waist high on the outside corner to even up the count at 1 apiece.
We were just having a conversation about the call a year ago or so.
It was against Urbandale.
Against Urbandale, I know.
Matty Ott hit a ball into the stratosphere to win the CIML title.
Yeah.
After a big comeback that night.
It was a crazy comeback.
1-1 the count to Ott. That pitch is up and away.
Schumann really working the outside part of the plate here early on. Let's see if they try to switch it up once in a while, but you got to be careful getting inside, because if you played it too much, Ott'll send this, like you said, into the stratosphere.
2-1 right now to Ott. Big infield for Urbandale. That ball's up and away. And, you know, something that's happened a couple times this year, was pointed out in the press box when we got here tonight, we actually have teams in true home and away uniforms. We've got Urbandale here, and they're all red. Jaguars, and they're all white. We can tell who's who out on the field.
That helps a lot. We had to call the Valley and game the other night with them, and it was up black on black and with pinstripes on both teams.
Hitters count to Ott, and that's a strike, as Schumann took a little something off it and put it on the outside corner to load things up. If it's there again, we might want to be sending a search and rescue team out to Delaney Cove to look for this ball.
I think she's going to keep working the outside of the plate. Maddie's got to be ready to take something the opposite direction, too, at the same time if it's close.
Here's a full count, and she does exactly that, drops it in. No, actually caught, and Kennedy's back safe at first. Faber moves on. There's a collision at first between Kennedy and Crowdis. Crowdis took the brunt of it as the ball was slapped out into right field. Maddie Reed made a nice play. And they're going to come out and discuss things with Crowdis, as Coach Salmon's going to come out.
Yeah, I think just make sure everybody's okay too at the same time. I think that's kind of a no call situation on that particular one.
There was nothing egregious at all as she came back in.
Jordan's trying to make her way back to first to get back to the base on the fly out, and at the same time the collision at first just it's incidental contact in that situation.
Yeah, the ball, it looked initially, that was a tough base running situation for Kennedy, because she's at first base and the ball is hit to shallow right field. But she was able to move Faber on to third as they come out, and it looks like Crowdis is going to be okay. Kennedy came in a lot lower as Crowdis was going up to get the ball, and didn't knock her down, but definitely an exposed part of the body.
Right, yeah. When you get your arms up, you're trying to make a catch on an incoming ball, and it's just, you can't protect yourself. That's hard on a first baseman. Not just a first baseman, it's on any player.
Now runners in the corners for Corey Linscomb. She bats .394, .520 on base percentage, and would like to help her own cause in the circle here tonight. Faber at third, Kennedy at second. First pitch is a ball outside. Lauren Bartine, designated player, waits on deck. A lot of time between pitches here for Urbandale. 1-0 the count to Linscomb. Linscomb slaps that one out into right field, and Maddie Reed has to come in just a little bit, makes the play. Urbandale dodges a bullet. Jags got their first 2 base runners on, not able to put any across, and we'll go to the top of the first. Still zeros here on the north side of Ankeny between the Jaguars and the Jayhawks.
Dear Cable Internet, I've met someone I can rely on, who moves my speed and is okay with how much I work. I'm sorry, but US Cellular Home Internet and I just have a stronger connection.
Get connected with US Cellular's home internet for just $39.99 when bundled with a wireless plan, plus a 3-year price lock guarantee. US Cellular, built for us.
All the pets in Ankeny can't wait to see us at Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital. Located just south of Uptown, our family-owned and operated practice has yearly plans with monthly pay options. Your dog or cat can get routine and preventative care before you may ever even know they are sick. From dental care to x-rays to our own pharmacy, we love them like our own. Your pets are our pets at Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital.
Back here on the north side of Ankeny, Andy Pollock, Kevin Fisher with you here tonight in this audio-only postseason production of Girl Dad Media on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire, as Urbandale and the Jaguars tied up at 0. You got to feel pretty good, though, if you're a Jaguar fan, about the amount of base runners you got on in that first inning. Just couldn't push them across.
Yeah.
A lot of pitches thrown by Schumann. As Urbandale comes up with Riley Pruitt, the left fielder. Pruitt bats .304 on the season.
Yeah, just going back to the bottom of that first inning, I know they didn't put any runs across, but the fact that you get a couple base runners out there, and that's what you're looking for every time. You got to give yourself opportunities every inning as you go in this type of year.
Swing and a miss there from Pruitt, and Linscomb, a very slow, deliberate windup that ended up coming in hot.
Yes, it's interesting because it doesn't look like she's trying to, generating a ton of speed, and then all of a sudden it comes out of her hand, and you're like, whoa, it's coming out a lot faster than I ever expected it.
1-1 count, and a swing and a miss there as well as she went up and away, and Pruitt went after it, makes the count 1-2.
But and that's not a knock on Linscomb. That's just kudos to her. It's almost it's a good disguise of a pitch, too. Especially when you throw that same wind up with a changeup, and then you get those differences in speed. It can be confusing to a batter.
Ball goes shooting off the end of the bat as Pruitt keeps things alive here with a foul tip. Foster going way outside right now as Linscomb ahead in the count. And I just keep looking out there, Fish. We just have an outstanding crowd here tonight. Urbandale brought a lot of fans. It's Summerfest in Ankeny. There's all sorts of stuff going on. We got fans all around the outfield and right field and out in the parking lot watching as that pitch is in the dirt to make it 1-2, or 2-2, excuse me. But yeah, bleachers. Man, if the Jaguars could get through this one tonight, you're going to want to get here early on Tuesday night. As always, anytime it's a regional final, Jags fans show up to support their softball team.
They do, and Urbandale is doing the same tonight, and that's great. It's awesome to see. There's a good following for softball in the state of Iowa, and especially in this conference, and we know how difficult this conference is just in itself, let alone trying to get into the state tournament and doing things there.
The 2-2 pitch was upstairs, so now the count is full to Pruitt. Linscomb looks in. And that pitch is low. Pruitt draws the leadoff walk.
Just a little bit down and in on that pitch there by Linscomb. Not a bad spot, but just not quite enough for a strike.
Sydney Hassan comes up. She bats .330. So another good batting average here for Urbandale, the lefty Hassan. Runner on first is Pruitt. She shows bunt. Linscomb going to pick it up and go to first for the out as Weibel gloves it there. And the sacrifice does its job, though, and moves Riley Pruitt on to second base. And that's the part I love about softball that's different from baseball, is when you get a runner on with that 60 feet between bases, you're trying to cause some havoc and see maybe you draw a little bit of a mistake there in the infield.
Exactly.
That time everybody got what they wanted out of that situation.
They did, yeah. Jaguars wanted out. Urbandale just wanted a runner on second base. They wanted to put somebody in position to score. Everybody, technically everybody did their job there.
Peyton Trainer, the designated player, swings. It's over to Cam Starr at short. She tags. They get the rundown over at third and run down by Ava Faber.
Wow. That was a great fake out there by Cam Starr over there at short. Made the fake throw to first and caught the runner, Pruitt, coming off the bag a little too far and got the lead runner on that situation.
The pump fake made it happen, and that's a heads-up play by Starr. And I watched home plate umpire Mark Amadeo's arm went out to show obstruction, but so if Pruitt would have gone back to second, they would have called her safe. But since she turned and went to third, she took herself out of that obstruction call.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I did see that, and it's exactly what happened there in that situation. That was interesting.
We do have a three-man crew tonight. Mark Amadeo behind the plate. Deirdre Moore is over on the first base side, and Eric Gilson is the third base side umpire, which is unique. In the regular season in Iowa, we have two-man crews normally, but this is a veteran crew. You'll see these guys at the state tournament here next week.
Just a great time of year for sports, especially softball.
Off speed from Linscomb makes the count 1-2. 2 outs right now with a runner on first. That's Peyton Trainer.
I think what we like about it so much this time of year is baseball and softball kind of have their own time of year. It's not mixed in with a lot of other sports and gets a lot of eyes on it.
Swing and a miss as Linscomb celebrates big with another strikeout for her, second of the night. Jaguars will go back to work on the bats after this here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
For Urbandale, they had no runs, they had no hits.
Our phones were made to help us connect, and somehow they've made us less connected.
Which is ironic, don't you think? Ugh, I love this song so much.
Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
West 40 Market in Uptown Ankeny is your place to shop for the best meats, steaks, brats, jerky, and everything in between. Let us be your one-stop shop for all your favorite cuts, all raised on local Iowa farms. Shopping local never tasted so good.
Jaguars going back to work here with Lauren Bartine, McKenna Foster, and Gracie Anderson. And you know, one thing about this Jaguar program through the years is it's always the seniors team, and I don't think there's a better example of that than coming up in the circle right now, catcher McKenna Foster.
Yeah, McKenna Foster has just been, you know, she's that ultimate senior presence that I guess you would call it that's out there. She's come through this program and just, you know, she's developed her game on both sides and has become a really good leader with this team this year. It's just, it's fun to see.
And she's been a big part of this streak that the Jags have gone at the end of the regular season here. Is she's been hitting the ball very well.
Yes.
Lauren Bartine up to the plate right now for the Jags. She bats .301 and watches the first pitch low and inside for ball one. Jaguars have really done a nice job, though, of different parts of the lineup have really produced when needed. As we sit here in the bottom of the second, the wind's pretty much gone away. It's going to be a great night to go down and watch the Pork Tornadoes at the District during Summerfest after this. Bartine gets around on that, and it's fouled down the third baseline. A hard foul ball at our umpire, Eric Gilson.
Yeah, you mentioned Foster there a little bit ago. I mean, we just a week ago or so, we saw her hit her first home run this year, or was it?
That was her first of her career.
First career it was, I think.
At least in school ball.
Yeah, in school ball, yes. Yeah, just an exciting moment, you know, and you see how excited the dugout was when she came around at the home plate, and it was just a really great moment.
1-1 the count right now to Bartine. Bartine slaps that one out into right center field. She might be thinking extras as she rounds it, but nice angle taken by Sarah Webster in center field to cut it off. But a leadoff single for Bartine, for Lauren Bartine, is the first hit of the night for the Jaguars.
Yeah, that was, I was thinking just what you most mentioned a second ago there. I thought maybe that was going to be a two bases for Bartine, but Webster take a really good angle, cut it off, and got it back in before Bartine could even think about getting there.
This time of year, we normally have that grass thinned out quite a bit, but man, we've had so much rain in central Iowa. That grass is thick right now, and he just killed it when it got to the outfield.
Yep, it did.
On turf at a couple venues here around central Iowa, that's probably a double as Foster lays down the bunt, and it's going to go foul as Johnson from her catcher spot watches it go. Yeah. Bartine was thinking third.
Yeah, she was ready to go three
from the start.
Yeah, we got talking about the weather a little bit there in the last few days, and the corn's 7 feet tall, and heat and rain is amazing what it does for it.
The corn's 7 feet tall, the weeds are 7 feet tall, everything's 7 feet tall
right
now.
Right. Yeah.
If you can't grow anything this year, you might want to rethink trying to grow anything at all. Foster shows bunt again, pulls back, and then it hits her in the box.
In the box? Yep.
So that is going to make the count 0-2 as it's called foul.
Okay, that was close because when that ball popped back up and Foster was getting ready to take off, I was worried that she was going to get called for being out of the box.
0-2 now with Bartine at first for Foster. Gracie Anderson waits on deck. Foster eyeballs it from the right side. Outside, ball one. Yeah, we've had rain, we've had the heat when we need it, and now tonight for the final night, well, I shouldn't say the final night of Summerfest, they'll still have it tomorrow, but we've got just absolutely beautiful weather to go down and rock the night away.
It's wonderful.
It is. It's a good day for doing anything outside. It's a good day to lose some golf balls out at Otter Creek.
Yeah.
It's a good day to do whatever.
Yep.
Foster gets around on that. Urbandale thinking two right now. They'd go 6-4 and can't get to three. Shot picked it up and got it to Rec, and Foster is safe at first on the fielder's choice, but they're going to get Bartine out, advancing to second. We've got our first Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution of the evening. Hannah Thompson will come in to run for McKenna Foster.
Running over at first base as a courtesy runner for McKenna Foster, number 7, Hannah Thompson.
Gracie Anderson, the speedy lefty, up to the plate right now, and I would imagine They're thinking they want to get that ball on the ground and let her motor her way down to first base right now. Bats from the left side. Bats .407 on the season out of her number 8 spot. Starts to slap and then pulls back. Got a whoa from the Urbandale crowd and got a whoa from me up here as well because she was close to going on the pitch at her face level.
Yeah, with the window open tonight, we're gonna catch some of the sounds of the crowd a little bit more. But why not on a beautiful night?
And hopefully allow some of you guys out there to catch some of the excitement as well. 1-0 the count. Anderson dribbles it right across to the pitcher as Schumann takes it and throws to Schott, covering second from her shortstop spot. And after the leadoff single, Jags are down to 2 outs with Cammie Starr coming up to the plate.
Yeah, Schumann did a good job there on that quick comebacker, collecting herself, making sure the defense rotated right to get the lead runner, and did so. So they're doing a good job so far against the Jaguar batters.
And we can see the shadows on the field not quite as standing out as they usually are because it's a little cloudy tonight. It's sunny but cloudy, if you get my drift. Like, it's just not that. It's not bugging the outfielders and infielders as much.
Yeah.
As Schumann just kind of stuck her glove right up there to make the play. And Cam Starr steps up to the plate. Another one of those Jaguars who's having a great year, batting number 9, .372 on the season from the number 9 spot.
Plus, starting at the 7 o'clock hour is a little nicer than playing that first the doubleheader, typical doubleheader at a 5 o'clock game.
Starr follows that one back into the netting. That allows us to see everything so clearly here on the north side of town. And it's 1-1 now. Gracie Anderson at first base. Jags have, I think, got to look at this right now. Ooh, the outs on the base, fielder's choice, fielder's choice, fielder's choice, fielder's choice. So everybody's had a chance to run at some point tonight so far.
Yeah.
1-1 the count to Starr. Way outside. Anderson goes, and she is safe at no.
Nope.
The tag was never applied, and I think they're going to get an appeal right there. Brett Delaney comes over to talk to Mark Amadeo and wants to find out how he can get this done because Anderson slid around the tag, but Eric Gilson out there at second says she was out.
Yeah, there wasn't. I know there was a conversation between Coach Delaney and umpire Mark Amadeo, but no second question out there out in the field.
Never went out to ask Mr. Gilson if he could get the appeal. We go to the top of the third. Urbandale will come back up after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Look, here's a phone company who wants us to use our phones less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. US Cellular, built for us.
It's a free ride. But I already paid.
What if you could create memories that would last a lifetime? That would be pretty cool. Well, now you can.
Second baseman Chloe Reck.
Jayhawks lead off the third with Chloe Reck. Jayhawks hanging around. Jags have had lots of base runners, but haven't been able to do anything with it yet. Reck swings at the first pitch from Linscomb, who's been very good. Jags have been very good defensively. In fact, they made some great plays so far through the first 6 outs of the night.
Yeah, there's been some good defense on both sides. You know, when you look at the scoreboard and there's no errors on the board.
Bunt shown. Weibel comes charging in from first and throws to Faber, covering from her second base spot. And the first batter of this third inning is retired.
Weibel came a long ways for throwing to Weibel there. Faber.
We don't get to score many things 3-4.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun to do.
It was kind of opposite there. I was trying to talk, and it was typically it's the other way around.
Number 9 batter Haley Crowdis up. Fouls the first pitch back into the netting. Crowd has been into it here tonight from the very beginning. Crowdis, from her number 9 spot, bats .326. We'll try to turn over this order and keep a base runner on for Webster. Checks her swing. They're going to try to get an appeal down, and Deirdre Moore says she did not go.
Okay.
And that'll make it 1-1. There's a strike coming back from Linscomb right down Broadway to make it 1-2. And might feel a little more comfortable throwing that pitch right now to Crowdis. Still got to be careful. You do not want to leave anything too easy to hit with a good part of Urbandale's order coming up next. Here's the 1-2. Popped foul into right field and over the Jaguar bullpen beyond the dugout. We'll keep it at 1-2.
Yeah, you just always got to, you can look at numbers on paper sometimes and go, okay, this is an easier batter or added batter, this part of that order. But you got to be careful.
That ball, that's exactly why. And Crowdis puts that out into almost to the fence. She's going to take a wide turn at first base, but the number 9 batter, Haley Crowdis, gets the first hit of the night for the for the Jayhawks.
Yeah, we just kind of foreshadowed what happened there. You just one of those situations where ball gets a little bit too much on the plate. But when a batter's batting 300 on the season, they've obviously hit the ball in some good spots, and Crowdis just hit another one right there in the left center.
That was the most solid contact we've seen from the Jayhawks here tonight. And now you're back to the top of the order with Sarah Webster, the speedy Sarah Webster, batting .435 on the year. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Urbandale crowd is awake now.
Yeah, this is the time of year we talked about. It's, that momentum. You got to try to set the tone early. You don't want to get in those situations where you have to feel like you're reaching for runs or struggling without, it's postseason ball.
That pitch is low to make it 2-0. Little breeze out there. Upstairs, it's 3-0 now to Webster. The Jaguar infield going to come in and calm down Linscomb a little bit. 1 out here in the top of the third. 3-0 to the leadoff batter, Sarah Webster. If you remember back to when Urbandale was here earlier this year, it was exactly this part of the order. Number 9 batter getting on, and then they got through and had a really nice second time through the order, as that's a strike inside corner to Webster. But it was this part of the order coming back through that really turned things on for the Jayhawks.
They did. They took charge of that that lineup in a little bit. The bottom half was producing.
Here's a 3-1. And that's low. 2 base runners on with 1 out right now for the Jayhawks. That'll move Crowdis to second.
Webster draws the 1-out walk.
And now Maddie Reed, who I'm not sure with Maddie Reed up right now, I'm sure actually that you're thinking sacrifice bunt and get some runners in scoring position for Tatum Johnson coming up next.
Yeah, I know Urbandale's got it. They have an out, but hot of a hitter. We've seen what Tatum Johnson can do over the years, and it wouldn't be a doubt with a speedster here and a lefty that there might be a bunt sacrifice just to put him in position and see what she can do.
Kennedy in quite a ways at third base. 1 out here for Maddie Reed. First pitch is low, and Linscomb struggling to find the zone at the moment. You don't want to have too many people on for Tatum Johnson coming up to the plate.
No, you don't want to get in that situation where there's a number of runners.
And there is a strike from Linscomb. Tatum Johnson in the on-deck circle right now has double-digit home runs on the season. And the count's 1-1 right now to Reed. Up and away to the lefty.
Yeah, with Johnson having 10 home runs on the year already, sitting there on deck, you know she's, unless there's a double play coming into play here, she's going to get up there with some runners on.
Action in the Jaguar bullpen. Aubrey Skaczynski's up, and that pitch is in the dirt. Good stop by Foster, but it's now 3-1 to Reed. Urbandale crowd making some noise over on the third base side. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Runners on first and second. And that's a call strike. She might have actually gone. I'm not sure.
Well, it looked like a good pitch on the inside corner there, but I don't know. Yeah, she might have made a little attempt at it, but probably would have definitely been a call down for review.
Big pitch early in this ball game. Runners on first and second. Full count pitch to Maddie Reed. And fouled off. She is getting on top of that softball.
Mm-hmm.
Jaguar infield once again lets Linscomb know they got her back.
It's better doing her job. She's making the pitchers throw quality pitches to try to get a strikeout on her. Obviously, Maddie's trying to get everybody moved over a bag.
Here it is, a full count pitch. And that's a strike right down the middle, and Linscomb very happy about that one. Just absolutely froze Reed. I don't think she was thinking fastball in that situation.
Yeah, I think that was one of those. She was shocked to see what came across the plate, and like you said, just maybe froze up for a situation, hoping that she'd get on and let Tatum do her job. Still, that's one, but now the Jaguars got to figure out how to get this out here too.
Tatum Johnson steps up with her 10 home runs on the year, batting .402, and a couple Jayhawks on the bases right now. Haley Crowd is at second, and that's lined out through into right field, and it gets away from Anderson. One run's going to come around to score. They throw it in, and they're going to come around and go. They wave it right through, play at the plate, and safe at home as well. Urbandale puts up 2 on the single from Tatum Johnson.
Yeah, Urbandale being aggressive on the bags right away. They got the hit they wanted from Johnson, and, they went ahead and sent the second runner coming around there because the fielding was kind of bobbled there for a second and gave them an opportunity to get both runs across. And big lead here early on for them.
I don't think that as Ava Faber took the cutoff, she was expecting any play to be happening at home plate. Yeah. And you saw right there, I don't even think that that Webster coming around, I think she was given the stop sign because I saw Coach Salmon kind of right away as she went right through it.
Yeah, I didn't quite have the angle on Coach Solomon to see what she was doing, but it looked like the runner was coming no matter what. Webster looked like she was coming home no matter what.
And I think it's McKenna Rasanke that's in there to run over at first base. I believe number 11 in another Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution. So Urbandale draws first blood here in the top of the third. Pitches upstairs to Riley Pruitt. She got on base with a walk in the first batter of the second inning. So she's back up here in the third. It was going to take some runs to win this game tonight anyway. The Jaguars have just had some opportunities so far and haven't capitalized.
Yeah, this is where it's the third inning. You can't panic. You put runners in position to score already. So
bunt laid down as they wheel down. Weibel throws it to Faber. It gets away from her, and they're not going to get the play at third either. Urbandale puts runners in the corners. Not sure if that's going to be an error on Faber covering from second or a throwing error from Weibel. Either way, it's an error. That gets Pruitt on, and now Urbandale with another runner at third in scoring position.
Pruitt reaches first on the error.
I think that was an error
Runner moves over to third base.
on the catch there at first. Looked like it was a pretty solid throw. Just dropped out of the glove.
So Urbandale trying to put a couple more across here. They lead 2-0 in the top of the third. Trying to pull the upset here in this regional semifinal. Ball swung on there and missed with runners in the corners to make it 0-1 to Sydney Hassan. She sacrificed a bunt to move Pruitt over in the second inning. Urbandale getting through their order here. It started with the number 9 batter, Crowdis, getting that single. And there's a check swing. I think you got to appeal down to third base at that one, and they say she didn't go. But that, there's a lot of times I can understand why you would say that they didn't go, but that's not one of them there. I'm pretty sure that Hassan went through.
Yeah, she was pretty well extended beyond the plate, but, I don't know. That's one of those situations the umpire just didn't quite see it the same way.
That one swung on. That's going to score another run for Urbandale out into right field as moves the runners forward. As Johnson's runner, Rasanke, comes home, and Urbandale's taking a 3-0 lead. Coach Brett Delaney wants to come out and have a chat with his infield, and it started with that number 9 batter, Crowdis, getting the single.
Yeah.
And that's going to do it for Corey Lincecum. They're going to bring in Aubrey Skaczynski, and our U.S. Cellular call to the pen. Lincecum will head out to right field. We'll get everything squared away shortly here as we take a break and let Skaczynski warm up here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Phones were made to help us connect, yet somehow they've made us less connected.
Which is ironic, don't you think? We try to put our phones down, but we need to pick them up to see the menu. We can't watch something without also watching something else.
Ironic.
Ironic.
But look, here's a phone company who wants you to use your phone less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Traffic jam.
Ugh, and I'm already late.
Peyton Trainer coming up for Urbandale. With runners on first and second, Aubrey Skaczynski in throws the first pitch inside for ball 1.
Well, we talked about this at the beginning, Andy. We said, it's time of year, the records go out the door. We know what Urbandale can do. They come to play. They've always done that over the years. Jaguars got to just settle down, find a way to get this last out. They've got it's early on. It's third inning, but we knew you got to score some runs anyway. But they got some work to do now.
Urbandale is fired up right now. 2-0 the count right now to Trainer. And there's a strike on the inside corner from Skaczynski. She's pitched a lot this year. In fact, she's been the ace most of the season. Linscomb got the start tonight, gave up 3 runs, 2 of them earned. There's an off-speed pitch cranked hard to left field, and that is out of here. A home run, 3-run home run, and Urbandale has just taken a 6-0 lead in the top of the third on the Jaguars.
A little bit of an off speed that Trainer just stayed on the pitch the whole way. She, and took it left field, and that was it was good at bat by her part. That's looks like number 3 on the year for her now, is what I see.
That ball just kept carrying and carrying and carrying as Mary Brantley, eventually as she worked back, you saw her just stop and turn around. She knew it was going over her head, and now you're in danger zone right now for the Jaguars because you don't have much room to make an error here the rest of the night.
No, you can't play. You got to play air-free softball from this point on. You got to figure out you've got the firepower to score the runs. It's just a matter of playing solid defense the rest of the way out, and it's going to start with your pitching.
Ella Schott, comes up right now, and it is. You got to get this out first. This inning will not end, and it seems to be. That's kind of what's happened for the Jaguars this year. You'll find on nights they'll have one bad inning on nights, and right now that's the third.
Yeah, we've seen that this year a couple times. A couple teams have come through, and this has happened. So they got to buckle down, and they're in a fight for sure.
Schott fouls that one off, and it's 0-2. Urbandale. If Schott is the 9th batter of the inning for the Jayhawks right now.
Yeah, they've worked their way through the lineup now, and that's the things in the postseason. When you start seeing that, you don't things as a team you don't like to see.
That pitch is up and in. It's 1-2 right now. Urbandale has come to play. You can tell just by the way Urbandale rolled in here tonight. They came in with 10 wins on the season. They're 10-27. Jaguars have beat them 3 times, all by mercy rule. But they came in here tonight with a lot. They just came in loose, nothing to lose, and that's what they've showed so far at the plate.
That's the thing is, you come in here, it's like, look, we don't have anything to lose. Our season is what it is, but we start at 0-0 tonight, and we go from there.
And that ball's in the dirt, 2-2.
And, a few of these players have been around for a few years. We've already mentioned that. And, there's some experience there, even though that there's still some underclassmen.
That ball's inside, and it's 3-2. This was an 0-2 count right now to Ella Schott. If you remember, Urbandale made the state tournament a year ago and kind of shocked everybody towards the end of the year as well.
They did.
Not a team you can take lightly at all, and that ball is going to get through the infield again. Another hit for Urbandale.
Ground ball with eyes there. Just found a spot between Faber. Yeah.
5th hit of the inning for Urbandale. And they're going to start things over here now with 2 outs. Urbandale has scored 4 runs with 2 outs in this inning. It just will not end for the Jaguars. Shot over to first. Chloe Rett comes up, and she fouls the first one off. And Urbandale's up there. They're looking to hit.
They are. You all of a sudden you see kind of a change. Like one person gets a hit, and all of a sudden it just feeds to the next batter. And they've taken that, and they're really running with it right now. Jaguars have got to figure out a way to kind of just to squash that.
And then flip the mentality to hit on their own. They got a lot of outs to do this yet, but it kind of down 6. They fake the bunt there. Throw back to first, and ball gets away, and actually Schott is going to head on to second. That's a dangerous throw. You've got Ava Faber coming over to cover from second, and she's blinded anyway by Schott coming back in.
Yeah.
never saw the ball coming, and the error is going to send Schott on to second base into scoring position.
Once Faber had a sneak behind shot to field that throw, you lose your sight on the ball, and that's hard to recover. Just trying to see it when it comes from out behind a player like that.
6-0, Urbandale in the lead, swing and a miss, and the Jaguars get the strikeout, but they got work to do. Urbandale puts up 6 runs on 5 hits in the top of the third. The Jags will go back to work with Starr in the top of the order after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Freedom Tire is proud to be the title sponsor of supporting Jaguar student athletes through Centennial Digital. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping your family safely on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Come see us at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of Centennial Digital.
We're here at US Cellular, Frost Days, where our customers get exclusive deals just for them. It's like we got our own special club. Should we show them?
Get $1,200 off any phone plus $500 off any tablet. Us Days at US Cellular.
Urbandale trying to shock the central part of Iowa tonight and take out the 4th-ranked Centennial Jaguars in the postseason, and it wouldn't be the biggest upset even of the postseason, as last night in baseball, number 1 Pleasant Valley falls in the first round to Davenport West. I try to explain to people, that don't follow high school sports as much. It's like a 16-1 upset in the NCAA.
It was, because I think they said they went back through. I saw somewhere on X that was the first time that a 1 has ever lost to a 6 in a bracket like that. I don't think that's ever happened since they've tried to track records like that.
As the Jaguars going to try to get back to work, and again, you don't have a 6-run swing in your playbook right now, but if you can get it back to where you can get a 3-run swing or a 4-run swing,
right?
That's the first goal right now.
You're right. This is the part where you just say, look, don't try to get it all back. We got to push runners across. Let's find a couple runs right now. Show that fortitude that you're going to get back in this game, and then go.
Cam Starr at the plate, and she leads things off with a single out into right field, the right center field, right to Sarah Webster covering from her center field spot. Now back to the top of the order with Mary Brantley, and that's how if you're going to start this comeback, that's the way to do it.
Just exactly what we were saying there 2 seconds ago. It's like you got to come back out and show that, hey, you know what, we're not going away. There's a reason that we're 30-9 or 30-10 this year, and our bats were a big part of that.
Jaguars have had some huge innings against Urbandale this season, and tonight would be a good time for another one of those. As Mary Brantley steps back up to the plate, first pitch low for ball 1. It's going to look up because I think the game that was here, when they finished it up, the Jaguars, I think, scored 8 runs in the final inning to mercy rule that one.
I think it was.
Going to look back at that one. Yes, they did. It was 6-6, and the Jaguars scored 8 runs.
Yeah, they were in a tight game at that point.
Yeah, scored 8 runs in the bottom of the 5th when it was 6-6 to win that one. So they've had those big innings, but Urbandale has not had big innings like this against the Jaguars, and that's a little concerning right now. 1-1 the count to Mary Brantley. Outside, as Starr takes a hard lead from first.
I had a conversation earlier today when I was on the golf course. I just said, hey, I was nervous because you just played a team. You just run ruled them a couple times, or all 3 times I think they played this year. Yep. Now here you catch them right away again in the postseason, just after you got to playing with them, and sometimes the script gets flipped on you sometimes.
2-1 count to Brantley. Shows bunt and it bounces back. Jags have not been able to get those bunts down tonight either. And now it's 2-2 to Brantley.
Yeah, I was just going to say, postseason ball is the little things, fielding. You can't make errors, getting your bunts down. Those are very key as to how far your team is going to go.
1-game playoff, just no room for errors. 21 outs to make. 2-2 the count to Brantley. Way outside. Loads things up. Urbandale has out-hit the Jags so far, 5-2, and the Jags have a couple errors. That hasn't helped the cause either. Full count pitch to Brantley. Swung on, it's right over there to the shortstop shot. They try to turn 2, 6-4, but can't get it to 3. And they get the leadoff runner star, and that's, as you look through tonight, that's the fourth fielder's choice.
Yeah.
Just not able to get those runners move forward.
Yeah, just a couple solid base hits, singles, but other than that, Urbandale is getting what they want right now. They're exactly what they want, getting the lead runners, and Jaguars just can't get runs pushed across when you keep getting that lead runner put out.
Ava Faber steps up now. She's got no official at-bats tonight with a walk, and that time she slaps out into right field, right again to Maddie Reed, who's had herself a night. 3 putouts on catches for Maddie Reed in right field.
Yeah, she's kind of leading the all-star recognition out there tonight, making those catches. Every one of those catches she makes, and they've all been pretty well hit balls out that direction, but just been kind of at her. She hasn't had to retreat much, and just kind of run in and made some good plays.
That'll bring up Jordan Kennedy, with Brantley still on first. First pitch is outside to Kennedy, and Urbandale scored 4 runs with 2 outs. See if the Jaguars can find a way to do the same right now.
There's a part of the order that could do it, but until they do, we have to see something happen here. It'd be nice to see a little bit good action start to happen, just so you get that feeling that hey, we can still do this. We can put runs on the board.
1-0 the count to Kennedy. That's low in the dirt. Runner goes. Brantley after the pump is in there safe at second. She read it in the dirt. Brantley wasn't a huge threat to steal, but she read it in the dirt. No one from Urbandale was even covering.
Nope, they weren't moving over to, like you say, shot didn't move over that quick to try to cover there, and so Brantley was able to get down to second base, get her in position. Jordan gets a base hit, and put a run across here.
Well, now the first base is open though for Kennedy. See how they elect to play this. I think with a 6-0 lead, you can go ahead and come after her. And that's a strike on the outside corner.
I was just watching where the outfielders were, and I just saw Webster a second ago. She starts at the fence and takes about 2 or 3 steps in, and she says, "Oh, that's plenty."
Yep, she is right back there. In fact, I haven't seen any outfielders play that deep at all here.
Yeah.
She wants to keep everything in front of her right now.
No,
with a 2-1 count to Kennedy.
That's smart. That's what you're doing. No, kind of a no doubles defense.
That pitch is upstairs, and it's 3-1 to Jordan.
It's like either Jordan has to hit this over my head and it's going to be gone, or I can make a play on it coming from the fence in.
And she's shown before, not tonight, but in other games we've seen of hers, that she can come in and make those plays.
Yes, yeah, she has the ability, the athleticism to do that.
Here's the 3-1 to Kennedy. And slaps that, and that's going to be a little hit out into right field. Brantley coming around, and we will have Brantley scoring. There was no play at the plate. And the Jags score their first run of the night on a single from Jordan Kennedy. Nice piece of hit in there, though, from Jordan. You're thinking power, power, power with her, and not exactly the pitch that she wants, but just guides it out into
Took
right
it opposite
field.
way, and that's, we mentioned earlier, we've seen Schumann, and we're sitting up here right behind home plate, and from our view, a lot of outside pitches, trying to prevent that power. And Jaguars now have got to be ready to start taking the ball that direction. Work right center, right field line. Take pitches that way. Take what they're giving you, and then, maybe chip away, and you get a run or two here. And all of a sudden, then they go, okay, what do we do now with our pitching?
Maddie out watches the first pitch low and inside for ball 1. Bottom of the third right now as Urbandale scored 6 runs in the top of this inning. Jags would like to dig a little bit more into this lead here in the bottom half of the inning. Ott awaits the pitch from Schumann, who's kept the Jaguars guessing tonight. Ott slaps that out into right center field. That's going to be extra bases for Maddie Ott. Jordan Kennedy's going to come around. She's going to score. Ott stand-up double at second base, and now the Jaguars are starting to hit the ball a little better.
Yep. Sometimes you feel like you're super smart when you start talking about something, and then they do what you want them to do. Took Maddie Ott, just drove that ball perfect out to right center, just dead in between both Webster and Reed out there, and brought Kennedy all the way around for first.
Yeah, right, and with 2 outs, Kennedy was rolling right away, and that's how you get taught early on, 2 with 2, and she scored from first. And that ball hit, I think it hit a pole out there in right center field as well, because when it hit it, it shot way off to the side, so it made it really hard for Reed to field it there off the fence.
It changed her angle a little bit after it got to the fence and made her take a couple extra steps to retrieve it, and I think that was enough to bring Kennedy all the way around from first.
6-2 now with Linscomb up. First pitch inside and low to her.
And now this is what the Jaguars had to do. You're obviously not gonna get them back all in one swing, but you had to find a couple runs, get that momentum, that feeling that, hey, you know what, we can do this. And they're back in a good position again, even though it says 6-2 on the board. I know that, but things are feeling better.
That pitch is inside as well to Linscomb. Bartine coming up. She's got a hit tonight. Wouldn't mind seeing her get up with a couple runners on.
Yeah.
Or if Corey wants to clear the bases right now, that's fine too.
She can do that too. And a lot of Jaguar fans would not mind that.
2-0 the count to Linscomb. She's ready for something to hit. And that is just on the upper part of the zone for strike one.
Linscomb was thinking about it. She was thinking about taking a cut, so obviously it must have been right there at the top of the zone. But she decided not to, and she called strike.
2-1 now the count to Linscomb. Maddie out at second. Linscomb gets around on that one, sneaks it through. Ott's going to come around. She'll score. And the Jaguars now have put together 3 hits in a row, and it's 6-3 Urbandale.
Nice job there by Linscomb squeaking that ball by Hassan over there at third. And all of a sudden here, they've cut the lead in half just like that. And, it's a whole different feel all of a sudden. You can feel the fans just picking up on that a little bit.
Well, and Schumann hasn't gone to the inside part of the plate a whole lot tonight and really worked the inside hard against Linscomb. And give credit to Corey, she recognized it and got around on the pitch.
She did. You're absolutely right about that.
And that'll bring up Lauren Bartine, who watches that first pitch again at the upper part of the zone. And you feel kind of a groan from Jaguar fans, but that pitch has been called from the very beginning tonight.
Yep. It's as a batter, you just gotta, if you are going to attack like Linscomb thought about previous there, you got to keep that bat up. Otherwise, you're going to be popping that up a lot during the course of the evening.
0-1 the count to Bartine. Up and away. 1-1. Corey Linscomb over at first. 3 hits in a row for the Jags, and that part of the order doing exactly what you want to do. You just didn't want to give up the 6 runs at the top of the inning.
No. Yeah, you still I'm sure you're still this. Leaves a little bit better taste in your mouth just by coming back and scoring some runs, but that you can't do those sort of things in the postseason a lot and get away with it, but we'll see what happens.
And Bartine gets underneath that one, and Webster drifts to her right, calls everybody off and makes the play, but the Jags get half of it back. They trail Urbandale 6-3 as we head to the top of the 4th here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
So when an athlete walks into Nick Jarash Fitness, the one thing we want them to know is that this is a phenomenal community. We have the best coaching. We have the best technology. We have the programming that can help them succeed. So whether it's trying to get on JV for the first time, going to that next level on varsity, going from a second string to an all-state player, we have the tools, we have the programming and the coaching in order to take each individual to their next level.
Back here in action on the north side of Ankeny, Urbandale leads Centennial 6-3 in regional semifinal action of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Urbandale trying to pull what would be considered a pretty major upset here tonight and knock the Jaguars, ranked 4th in the state, out of the postseason. But the Jags showed some signs of life there in the bottom of the 3rd. But now you come back to who started it before on that 6-run 3rd inning for Urbandale.
Right.
And that's the first baseman, Haley Crowdis.
Yeah, Haley started that whole mess for Jaguars the previous inning. And here she is again. But Jaguars got to figure out a way to buckle down on defense, throw some solid pitches.
First pitch is a check swing that goes off the nub of the bat for Crowdis, and it's a strike. Fouled over to the Jaguar dugout down the first baseline.
The one thing you like to do is when you do finally kind of break through and score some runs, you want to get back up there as soon as you can again and just kind of keep that momentum going. And Jaguars would love to have a kind of a quick 1-2-3 inning here if they can.
And that ball's popped up into right field, and Linscomb calls off Faber at the very last second, coming in from right. narrowly avoided the collision between Faber coming out from second and Linscomb from right field, but that's how the hierarchy works, and
Yes.
Linscomb did it right.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. That's Linscomb's ball. Unless if she's calling it, she's got to make that play. You know, she's going to come in and make that play, and she did a great job. She came a long ways to get that. That was just barely out in the grass over there beyond first base.
Sarah Webster fouls the first pitch off. Back to the top of the order for Urbandale. Webster 0 for 1 tonight with a line out to Jordan Kennedy at third and a walk. Scored a run in that big third inning for the Jayhawks. Quick strike there from Skaczynski. That ball popped up as well and out of play. And it's now 0-2 to Webster. This top part of this Urbandale order has been tough on the Jaguars all season long.
They have. You know, even if they're not actually getting the ball in play, what they do is, and then during their at-bats, is they get up there, they get 7, 8, 9 pitches sometimes, 10 pitches or whatever, and they just kind of frustrate you as a pitcher.
That ball is chopped, and Kennedy picks it up quick, throws to first, and safe at first. Webster, I think Kennedy could have let that one go. I think it might have drifted foul, but she had to make a decision quick.
Yeah, she was right in the – it was just right in the 50-50. You know, what's this going to happen? More than likely that ball is probably going to go foul, but you know what? She had a chance to make a play, and sitting up here, it looked like maybe she did, but it was ruled safe at first.
And back to Maddie Reed now, the number 2 batter. She's 0 for 2 tonight. And Webster definitely a threat to steal over at first. That first pitch is a strike. Webster takes her time looking back. She was close to a look-back rule there as Skaczynski had the ball.
Yeah.
Better be careful over
yeah,
there.
That's
on that
one of the rules that you don't see enforced, really.
There's a bunt, and Kennedy picks this one up, throws to first that time, and gets the out. But Reed does her job and sacrifices Webster on, and that'll bring up Tatum Johnson, who's 1 for 2.
Yep, Reed did exactly what she was supposed to do there. Put Webster in position. You know, when you got your cleanup here and Tatum Johnson batting 400 and a runner at second, that's exactly what the situation the Jayhawks are looking. Oh.
Yep, Coach Brett Delaney is going to give Johnson the base.
Probably.
And now runners on first and second for Riley Pruitt, who's 0 for 1 tonight.
Not a bad call in that situation there. You know, we've seen Johnson has proven to us, to the Jaguars over the years, she's capable, very capable of hitting the ball out of the park.
Rasaki will come back in and run in the Hearts of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution. She'll go to first. And another opportunity for Urbandale to open up a lead again, a bigger lead, I should say, with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Pitches up and in to Pruitt.
Just above the zone there by Skaczynski.
I think you get that call if you're out more over the plate, but when you a little bit more inside there, it's kind of a moving target. It's not exactly a square zone sometimes.
It kind of feels like it's a little rounded there in the middle.
That's hacked right over to Weibel at first base, and she calmly steps on the mat and gets the out. Jag's going to go back to work here in the bottom of the 4th. We're halfway through this one. Urbandale leading 6-3 on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire. Sounds of Let's Go Jags echoing throughout the north side from this very, very large, boisterous crowd here tonight. The Jaguars going to try to cut into this lead a little bit more from Urbandale as McKenna Foster and then Aubrey Skaczynski will take the place of Anderson. And then Cam Starr as well, the 3 due up. And then back to the top of the order.
Yep. Well, the Jaguars did what we were describing, had to do. Had to go out there, get out with unscathed, and see if they can get back out there at least and try to chip away a little bit more at this. Yeah, I think they would like to put another, even if they put another singular run on the board here, it'd be nice just to kind of keep that momentum, that feeling going.
Foster would like to be the one to cause the spark right now.
And she has done that lately.
Swings that one, and it's gloved right away. Nice play by Sydney Hassan, who one pitch, one out, throws it over to Crowdis at first. So quick reflexes there at the third base side from Hassan.
Real good snag there by Hassan. She was playing just a little bit up even there, and snagged that on the backhanded side and throw over her teammate at first for the out.
Aubrey Skaczynski pitching now, but that everything was set up from a designated player and who was going to be where perspective, that she comes in for Anderson. Anderson comes out. Linscomb goes to right, so you're just putting in Skaczynski for Anderson, which she watches that first pitch for a ball. And you're not, and Gracie Anderson's been really good, but Aubrey Skaczynski can hit pretty well as well from her pitcher spot.
Yeah. You just Gracie has a little the advantage on the speed side, but in the hitting, Skaczynski still has a lot of good hitting. Oop.
And hits that one hard right at Haley Crowdis, who makes the out and then nearly takes the arm off of her shortstop, Ella Schott, as she whips it across the infield. Pretty excited about that one was Crowdis.
Yeah, she was excited about making that out because that ball was hit decently at her right at first, and but they made the play.
Cam Starr, who's 1 for 1, comes back up to the plate. Urbandale's made the plays tonight, errorless in the field. And the Jaguars have not struck out yet, so they've had a lot of opportunities. Starr hits that one back up the middle. Diving attempt by Schott, keeps it in the infield. But Cam Starr is now 2 for 2 on the night.
Yeah, Cammy right up the middle, nice hit there.
Cammy Starr with the 2-out infield hit. We'll go back to the
doing what she wants to do, gets herself back around to the top, and here again, they did this is what happened last inning. There was 2 outs, and they put some runs on the board. See if Jaguars can do the same thing.
Back to the top of the order with Brantley. She's due for a hit. 0 for 1 tonight. She's got a walk. Brantley watches the first pitch. I'm not sure where it missed, but it was called a ball. Might have been a little low.
Maybe just dropped down to outside the bottom of the zone there. That looked like a decent pitch there by Schumann.
1-0 the count to Brantley. Ava Faber waits on deck. Here's the pitch, and that's inside, and it's 2-0 to Brantley. This would make things interesting. Get a couple runners on for this meat of the order for the Jags.
Yeah, it would be nice to see if they could put a couple more out there and give some of that power an opportunity.
2-0 the count to Brantley. Way over on the right side of the restraining lines, and that pitch is a called strike to Brantley. Up and in that top part of the circle.
Yep. More across the center of the plate, but up on the top part of the zone.
It's really, it's probably a strike. That's a really tough pitch to not just pop up in the infield.
It is. It's difficult because, like I said, you got to keep your hands up, try to get on top of that pitch.
That pitch is outside, and it's 3-1 to Brantley. Schumann's done really well tonight for Urbandale. She's been really good in this circle. Just kind of, other than that streak of 3 hits the Jags just had the last inning, she's scattered everything, and she's really kept the hitters guessing. Different speeds, different levels.
Defense has been there for, behind her when even on some of the balls that have been put in play, and made some outs, made some, like I say, those fielders' choices are big.
Brantley watches that pitch upstairs and draws the 2-out walk.
Brantley draws the 2-out walk. It moves Cammy Starr up to second base.
Second walk on the night, or for her.
Number 22.
Ava Faber's 0 for 2 tonight, and if the percentages hold, she's going to score a run for the Jags right now. As they've got Cam Starr at second and Mary Brantley at first. Jordan Kennedy waiting on deck, and oh boy, she had a chance to wake up all of North Ankeny. That pitch is a called strike on the outside to Faber. Caught the shadow of the plate. 0-1 now to Faber. She hasn't moved out of that batting circle. This has stayed planted right in there as Schumann gets ready to go once again. That pitch is a little bit too far outside to make it 1-1. This is obviously, it is postseason, but you just feel the postseason buzz out here tonight. This is great.
It's wonderful. Like I said, I love this time of year. You got passionate fan bases on both sides. Follow their teams, and and you got a situation where the ranked team is trailing, and it gets a little bit more buzz.
And that's outside to Faber, 2-1. She has played everything outside right now to Ava.
Yeah, Schumann's really working outside the zone, and nothing wrong, to her. Yeah, bravo to her for doing that. That's what you're trying to do. Stay away from that big power hit. Make them Jaguars get it in little pieces.
Trying to get something hit out to Maddie Reed, and that one's fouled off over at Jordan Kennedy in the on-deck circle on the first base side. Now it's 2-2. You got to attack the zone right now if you're Faber, because you the zone's been a little bigger tonight. I'm not saying it's been outside the zone, but it's definitely been a little bigger.
Right, that edge is a little bit stretched out a little bit more once in a while. We've seen that.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with 2 runners on for Faber. Swings on that one, and that's a weak ground ball right up the middle. They throw over, and it's fielded by Reck, and Urbandale gets out of that one. Hold on. They want to talk here. Coach Delaney wants to come through. Did the ball get dropped, or what happened?
I'm watching the fielder at first. When she went to reach for that ball, her foot
pulled her foot. Yeah,
pulled foot came very far up and almost off to me. But I don't know if she got it back on before the runner got there.
That was the discussion there, and I saw that happen, but everybody ran off right away, so I looked down at my sheet. So it does go down as an out after the appeal, though. Urbandale holding on to that lead. Go to the top of the 5th after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Dear cable internet, I've met someone I can rely on, who moves my speed and is okay with how much I work. I'm sorry, but US Cellular Home Internet and I just have a stronger connection.
Get connected with US Cellular's home internet for just $39.99 when bundled with a wireless plan, plus a 3-year price lock guarantee. US Cellular, built for us.
All the pets in Ankeny can't wait to see us at Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital. Located just south of Uptown, our family-owned and operated practice has yearly plans with monthly pay options. Your dog or cat can get routine and preventative care before you may ever even know they are sick. From dental care to x-rays to our own pharmacy, we love them like our own. Your pets are our pets at Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital.
Sydney Hassan steps up to the plate. She is one for one tonight with a sacrifice early on. Watches the first pitch from Aubrey Skaczynski for strike 1. That one's quite a ways out of the zone, up and away. Aubrey Skaczynski will play her college softball at Maryville. She's one of the 3 seniors on this Jaguars team. And that ball's fouled off, and I think they would have just called that a foul tip as Foster went off her glove, then popped up in the air, and she tried to catch it again, thinking she might get the cheap out, but it makes it 1-2.
On a 3rd strike?
Yes.
Yes. Not on the 2nd one.
And that pitch a little bit too far outside on the 1-2 to Hassan. All the runs in this game for both teams have been scored in the 3rd inning. Urbandale just doubled up the Jaguars, and they scored 6. The Jaguars scored 3, and that ball's little matrix move over there in the on-deck circle from Peyton Traynor.
Yeah.
She dodged that ball coming right at her.
I couldn't see her, but I knew that by the angle that's where it was heading.
Might have actually hit Ella Schott over there. She's the next one up, and she's right there. They're all looking at her right now. She seems to be all right.
Yeah. Gotta have your head on the swivel sometimes.
2-2 count to Hassan. Just a little bit outside. Full count now. Here's the full count pitch. Swung on, and Jordan Kennedy, the diving stop, throws from her knee over to first base.
Wow.
A highlight reel play from Jordan Kennedy.
Wow. What a just awesome stop there by Jordan. Like you said, with her strength, just threw it from her knees over to first base and just said, well, okay, routine.
Effortlessly throws it from her, actually from both knees. A lot of times you'll have one knee up, but she dives across her body, gloves the ball as it's heading towards the base, because that would have rocketed off third base if she lets that get by her. Probably extra bases there that she saved from Sydney Hassan, and then coming back with a swing and a miss on Traynor.
You know, and even though it's, it's not an offensive, there's no momentum run there, but it's just something that kind of gets the team invigorated, and it goes to a long ways into how this game continues to go forward.
Swing and a miss there from Trainer as well. Trainer had the big 3-run home run, and that's the big difference in this game so far. She had that in the 3rd inning. Scored Pruitt and Hassan. That ball's popped up out of play on the right side and still 0-2.
Yeah, you look at, situational-wise, Trainer, that was a big hit from her position, the 6th hole there, that couple innings ago, and has really got the fan base on Urbandale energized.
There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout for Ski, and that's 2. She was on her way off the field and got motion to stay back on from Foster.
I saw everybody get a little excited. It's good to be excited, but go ahead. But make sure you get all 3 first.
Ella Schott comes up next. She's 1 for 2 tonight. Has made some nice plays over at shortstop for the Jayhawks. And she fouls that one all over the top of the Jaguar first base dugout. And quickly ahead in the count is Skaczynski. 0-1 right now, the count to Schott. As you look ahead, this next inning for the Jaguars is going to be very important at the plate.
Yeah, I think it's it's not only is it where you're in the situation in the game, they have an opportunity with this meat of the order getting up. You put a couple runners on base, and then they'll have another opportunity later in the 7th inning again if they're still trailing.
That ball foul down the first baseline. Hung on that one a little while because it was slicing foul.
And just kind of continuation of what I was saying there is that you'd like to be able to get Jordan Kennedy and Maddie Ott and Lentz come up there 2 more times for the remainder of this game, which they have that opportunity to do. But take care of the first time they get up first, and see what happens from there.
Well, first things first, need to get this out. 0-2 the count right now to Schott. An off-speed pitch. Missed just a little bit outside. Foster tried to frame it, and she's really good at that, but not going to fool Mark Amadeo.
Just off the plate there. Good, just a little late break. Probably took it just a little too far out of the zone.
And that one's upstairs to make it 2-2. I was just about to say there's not a breath of wind, and then I think my breath out of my mouth actually started pushing the flag a little bit away, but not by much. It's absolutely gorgeous. We're down to the low 70s right now.
Nice, comfortable breeze.
And there's a strike 3 call, looking on the outside corner. Jaguars getting excited here. Time to go back to work with Kennedy, Ott, and Linscomb here as we head to the bottom of the 5th after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Our phones were made to help us connect, and somehow they've made us less connected.
Which is ironic, don't you think? Ugh, I love this song so much.
Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
West 40 Market in Uptown Ankeny is your place to shop for the best meats, steaks, brats, jerky, and everything in between. Let us be your one-stop shop for all your favorite cuts, all raised on local Iowa farms. Shopping local never tasted so good.
Jordan Kennedy, Maddie Ott, Corey Linscomb. If you're going to make a comeback, I can't think of 3 better players in the state to try to do it behind.
3 double-digit home run hitters for the season up at the plate, and it's kind of a little bit this is their moment. It's time to shine. Show that this is what you've done all season. Don't have to change anything. Just go up there with the same mentality you've been doing. Don't try to force it, and put yourself in a position to get yourself back right into the thick of this game.
Kennedy steps up. She's 1 for 2 tonight. It hasn't seemed that she's swinging the bat quite like she normally does tonight. She's been kept off balance a little bit by Aubrey Schumann.
Really been working her way. She's just got to maybe take advantage of that a little bit. We saw that with Maddie when we were talking about that earlier. Maddie did that previous bat.
Here's a pitch, and that's in the dirt for ball 1. And Schumann a couple times tonight has worked behind the Centennial batters, and this is definitely not a part of the order that she can afford to do that.
No,
with.
yeah, it gets dangerous on her end. If you get behind early, down 1-0, 2-0, then you're forced to throw a decent pitch across the plate, which can travel a long ways if it's the wrong pitch.
1-0 to Kennedy, and that's in the dirt. That bounced about 3 foot in front of home plate.
It's big for Kennedy and this part of the order, don't get impatient. Go up there, like I said, do the things you've been doing all season long, and don't, you're not going to change things with one swing with nobody on right now. So just, take your time, work your way through this part of the lineup.
2-0 the count to Kennedy. And that's about as good a pitch as she's seen all night long.
Yep.
The outer third of the plate. That's one that she would have no problem muscling into that right side of the outfield. And credit to Schumann, she's pitched at these Centennial batters all night long.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's nothing fault with what she's done to this point.
That one's low and away, and now 3-1 to Kennedy, and the crowd gets a little more antsy when they see it at this hitter's count to Jordan.
Yeah. Let's see what nobody on, if they get too brave or on a pitch, or just kind of see if they can get something to nibble on the outside and make her swing at something off the plate.
Here's the 3-1. And Kennedy hits that out into left field, and she's going to get extras off it because it skipped away from Riley Pruitt. Jordan Kennedy leads off the 5th inning. I think we'll see what they rule that one. I think it'll probably be a double. The ball took a big hop over Pruitt out there.
Very.
It is ruled a double.
Hard hit. Pruitt had to go a little ways, try to get to that, and when that ball lands almost at your feet and coming up with a high hop, it's hard to put an error on that particular play.
She was so far back to the fence, she probably could have made a diving effort anyway right there because the ball wasn't going to go very far behind her.
That's true.
Where she was playing, and that's why those Urbandale outfielders are playing that deep right now. And again, they're all the way back. You talked about Sarah Webster. She shaded this time, though, to the right field side about 4 or 5 feet. Out in center for Maddie Ott. And first pitch to Maddie Ott's outside for ball 1. Things have got amped up a little bit here on the north side of Ankeny tonight. Urbandale came out swinging.
Yeah, we said, a couple innings ago, it's like, okay, don't get impatient. And then they did what they needed to do. They put a couple runs on the board. But now you're in that 5th inning now, and you don't want to get thinking about too much, having to do a whole lot as you get to the 6th, 7th inning.
That's a strike right on the mitts of Maddie Ott.
Crowd had a little bit of an opinion on that one.
Maddie gets so close to the plate, though, that anything on that inside part is going to look.
You're right. It's true.
Going to look inside. I mean, her elbows are over top of the plate right now. Here's the 1-1. Way outside there to Maddie, and it's 2-1. And again, Schumann, who a couple times tonight, when she's worked ahead, she's been really good. But these times that she's worked behind the Centennial batters, what she's done to this middle part of the order, and they've jumped on it.
Yeah, it's been a little bit more of a challenge getting behind, and that's the case for any pitcher. Gosh, as a father of a pitcher over the years, we always talked about get in front of them, get ahead on those batters, and it just gets difficult because your pitches get a little tougher.
Ott gets around on that one. That's a fair ball. Maddie Ott down the left field line. It goes right over third base, and she's got a double. Trades places with Kennedy, and it's now 6-4.
Maddie Ott, that pitch was so far in the hands, and she got around on it. I was shocked that she got that right over the bag on third base, but did an excellent job. We know what kind of bat she has, and down there in the corner with her speed, she was going to run it, walk into second base pretty easy there.
And now you come up with Corey Linscomb, and it looks like they're going to have a discussion. I have not seen any movement out in the Urbandale bullpen as Coach Amber Solomon wants to come out and have a talk about how they're going to deal with Linscomb here with Maddie Ott on second. Jaguars, like you said, haven't panicked yet, piece by piece, getting back into this one as they trailed 6-0 after 2.5 innings today, and now it's 6-4. They've now out-hit Urbandale on the night, 8-6.
And they're doing.
And it looks like they will be making a change.
Maybe. I didn't see anybody warming.
There we go. I didn't see anybody warming up, but it looks like they're gonna sneak in right now. We get blocked from over there, but it looks like Sophie Romy is gonna come in. An 8th grader will come in to pitch. Right? Is that number 6? It
number
is.
6, Sophie Romy.
We'll take a break as she warms up. It's a U.S. Cellular call to the pen. We'll be back. Jaguars, nobody out, trying to put together a big bottom of the 5th here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Look, here's a phone company who wants us to use our phones less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
It's a free ride. But I already paid.
West 40 Market in Uptown Ankeny is your place to shop for the best meats, steaks, brats, jerky, and everything in between. Let us be your one-stop shop for all your favorite cuts, all raised on local Iowa farms. Shopping local never tasted so good.
So Sophie Romy, the 8th grader, checks into the game to pitch right now, and she's been kind of put in a tough spot with now equalizer and Corey Linscomb coming to the plate. Romy, like I said, just an 8th grader. She's 3-4 on the year. She's pitched plenty this season, 47 innings. She's got a 6.7 earned run average. And Corey Linscomb, with her double-digit home runs, up to the plate right now and watches the first pitch at the knees for strike one.
Yeah, Urbandale's been kind of a three-headed monster this year on the mound with Schumann, Berry, and Romy, and I think they've all kind of taken their turns. The innings have been spread out fairly even, but yeah, it's just a tough position as an 8th grader coming in here.
Linscomb gets a hold of that one to center field, and she just tied it up to straightaway center field. Corey Linscomb gets all of that one and ties this one up after the Jaguars trailed 6-0, and it's now a tie ball game.
Oh my goodness, Corey Linscomb just sat back on that pitch after the first one called strikeout was a little suspect, and all of a sudden you're sitting here going, here we are, 6-6. We worked our way all the way back.
Our director told me right away when the Jags got down 6-0, she said, don't panic, and the Jags haven't panicked, and just like that, the bat of Corey Linscomb, home run number 11 on the season. And they are up and ready to roll right now. That brought the Jaguar faithful to their feet.
I was going to say, things were buzzing a little bit ago. They're buzzing now, on the Jaguar side at least.
In this next part of the order, as we look through, you're looking at Bartine and Foster, Skaczynski. They're going to try to keep things rolling as nobody's out.
Yeah, what we just actually talked about a little bit ago is the key we thought was getting the order, getting around on the order, getting that meat of the order back up again, and now they've put themselves in the position to do just that, to get back to, the 3, 4, 5 hitters again.
Ooh, Bartine with a long strike, foul down the left field line, and it's 0-2.
But this is the position, now you've got that momentum. You're looking to put that big crooked number on the board like Urbandale did to us back in the third inning there.
Bartine, and that's booted over there at first. Bartine's going to make it down on the error at first base. The ball was spinning away from Haley Crowdis, and it took a skip right as it got to her mitt, and Urbandale just commits their first error of the night at a big time.
Yeah, that was a tough one there. Probably had a little bit of funny spin on it, but it's so strange in this time of year in the postseason. All of a sudden, things start not going your way, and then all of a sudden the little things get tougher. And we were talking about that, about not making any errors, and then they put their first one on the board.
I believe that's Addie Frederick that just came in to run in a Hearts of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution over there at first base. Normally it's not. That is 28. So that is that's not Delaney. Oh, is Delaney Weibel running for? Okay, it's designated player flex.
Okay.
So Weibel in to run for Bartine.
Okay.
And now with McKenna Foster at the plate, Jags are back in a situation where they could sack bunt if they wanted to, as Foster watches that first pitch outside for ball one. Jags, like you said, trying to make this number really crooked in the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, don't be satisfied with 3 now. All of a sudden you're going to go, okay, let's find 5 or 6, get ourselves in front and see how we can finish this off.
Pitches inside as Foster pulled it back at the last second, got that whole Urbandale infield. You got to be thinking right now, if you're Delaney Weibel, if this ball gets on the ground, you're thinking third, because it's going to be a foot race between her and Ella Schott, who's got to go cover second base.
Yes.
Over there to third base right now. Foster shows bunt, gets it fouled once again back into Johnson this time, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, one of the things I remember just, helping with coaching Jags in the fall ball, club ball is you're always thinking 2 bases at a time. Don't think 1 base. And then Coach Delaney emphasizes that all the time.
Here's the 2-1. Foster pulls back, and it's in the dirt, and it's now 3-1 to McKenna Foster. Oh, boy. Jags had to make things interesting tonight. Here's a 3-1. Foster has to do the limbo to get away from that one, and we're going to get a courtesy runner for her.
Foster draws the walk.
So we're going to get Hannah Thompson in another Hearts of Ankeny Animal Hospital substitution as Aubrey Skaczynski. I thought he might have a pinch hit situation for Skaczynski here as well, but she will stay in to hit.
No.
And we mentioned Aubrey is a very good hitter.
Yeah, she, has a decent, besides being on the mound, she has a decent bat herself there on the plate.
Just under 270. She shows bunt, puts it down. It's a perfect bunt. Skaczynski is going to be out at first, but moves the runners on, and now the go-ahead run in the form of Delaney Weibel is over there at third base for the Jaguars.
Yeah, Skaczynski just came in and did exactly what she needed to do in that situation. Laying the bunt, getting the runners over. You got Cami Starr coming up, and then you turn the order with, you got a couple chances at pushing some runs across.
Ski did exactly what she needed to do, and now she's in line. If the Jags can score runs, she'll be in line for the win tonight. And I can't imagine a better situation for Cami Starr to be up in right now. She is 2 for 2 on the night, and she's got runners on second and third trying to put the Jags ahead in this one. First pitch, she gets around on it, nubs it through it went off her.
Yeah.
It hit her in the box.
Shin
it's a dead ball. They called it dead
foot.
right away.
Yeah. Mark Amadeo popped up and
would have scored the run.
Yes. Yeah. It was actually would have been a great little that infield slap type hit to bring the run across.
But she was not running to first, as she knew right away it went off her. Deirdre Moore came in as well from first base side and called it dead right away. And so now it's 0-1 to Starr. Upstairs. I'm not so sure if she gets ahead in the count that you don't ever lay a bunt down right now.
Yeah, I was wondering if
a couple extra base runners on for Brantley.
Of course, you have somebody that's got the back going tonight, and you kind of
certainly does.
They're already there. You're thinking, contact somewhere in play on the ground or line drive-ish.
And she does it again right over there to short. They throw her out, but the go-ahead run comes across for the Jaguars, and out going to third. The run does score. The Jaguars tried to take 2 with it, and the run did count as they confirm that. So the Jaguars have taken their first lead of the night on the ground out to shortstop, but the double play ends the threat. And now Urbandale will go back to work in this anything you can do, I can do better type of regional semifinal game. Jaguars have taken the lead 7-6 here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
What if you could create memories that would last a lifetime? That would be pretty cool. Well, now you can.
The north side of Ankeny, home of Summerfest, as that's where we'll be headed when we get done here tonight, down to party the night away down in the district. Prairie Trail, big supporter of ours here on Centennial Digital. And the Jags now dealing with their first time in the lead tonight. And Urbandale will come up with Chloe Reck.
Reck Crowdis in the top of the order.
8-9 batter, and that top of the order has done some damage for the Jayhawks tonight. First pitch, a swing and a miss. As Ski went way outside. Might have been a little curveball action, a little slider action.
It had some good movement, and you can see all of a sudden it's funny how scoring offensively changes your defensive feeling.
Shows bunt, and she went, so now it's 0-2.
There was some serious intent on that first pitch of Skaczynski with that curve kind of breaking off the plate. You could see it was a little bit more like, all right, let's buckle down and take care of this.
Her body language has just been different tonight out there in the circle. As she gets out, that's a nice solid hit there out into left center field. And she's going for 2. Mattiot shows off the gun, and they get the out. Mattiot out at the fence from left center field, throws it to Ava Faber, and takes away that leadoff base runner for the Jayhawks.
Great play all the way around. I saw Mattiot get out there, and you were already kind of calling it just as she got to the ball. And with her arm and Ava Faber, credit to her,
It was a blind tag.
Great positioning, though, to not get the obstruction on the receiving that throw coming in from the runner coming from behind. Just caught the ball, swung around, made the tag.
An 8-4 put out, and there's a swing and a miss from Haley Crowdis. Maddie Ott had to go back to the fence. She barehanded it, picked it up, and in the air, ball didn't even hop, threw a dart to Ava Faber, who applied the Javi tag. And just like that, now it's 0-1 to Haley Crowdis. Crowdis fouls that one off, and it's 0-2. Man, if you're going to get back to the top of the order here for Urbandale, you want to do it with 2 outs. This is a big out right now on Crowdis.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that play right there may end up deciding how this kind of all goes for the rest of the evening.
0-2 right now, the count to Crowdis. And that's fouled off on the check swing. Looked like my pitching wedge shot there.
A little high and out to the right.
That would have been one of the more straight shots that I've hit lately. 0-2 the count right now to Crowdis again, going into her 4th pitch of the at-bat. I might be a little hoarse when this night's done. Swing and a miss, and she gets the 2nd out of the inning.
Good job by Skaczynski to get that 2nd out. So, like you say, you get to the top of the order and you have nobody on the plate, so it just gives you a different feeling. You're not worried about all the different situations that you have to run into as a defense. You just go at the batter and take care of business.
Back to the top with Sarah Webster. First pitch to her is on the outside corner for strike 1. Webster's 1 for 2 tonight. Scored a run in that big 6th-run 3rd inning for Urbandale. Swung on and fouled off, and now skis ahead in the count 0-2. Big score up from Ames tonight as Ankeny looking to pull what would be, seeding-wise, a little bit of an upset. In the bottom of the 7th, the Hawkettes are up 5-1, trying to move on in the postseason. Be a big win for Coach Sal.
Yeah, Lensmeyer.
Down on the south side, Lensmeyer. And when she pitches, they're so good.
Yeah, yep, she's doing a real good job there.
And they're going to appeal, and she went! Webster strikes out. And it may have been a little bit of a makeup call from earlier in the night, but it became a lot bigger one right now to become the 3rd out on the leadoff batter here in the top of the 6th. Jaguars 3 outs away from moving on in the postseason. They'll go back up to the plate with their top of the order after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Centennial 7 and Urbandale 6.
Freedom Tire is proud to be the title sponsor of supporting Jaguar student athletes through Centennial Digital. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping your family safely on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Come see us at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of Centennial Digital.
Mary Brantley going to lead things off for the Jaguars and try to get some high street insurance runs here in the bottom of the 6th. Jaguars trailed 6-0 after the top of the 3rd and scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd, 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th. And that's why they lead right now, 7-6. They have not struck out yet tonight. The Jaguars haven't. Urbandale's made a lot of plays in the field.
No strikeouts. It's just a real good job. Really, Urbandale has done what they wanted to do. They wanted to be in this position, obviously, this time of the game, and they've done what they needed to do.
Mary Brantley, who is 0 for 1 tonight with a couple walks, steps up to the plate. You mentioned it, that bottom of the 5th, though, the Jaguars, when they got consecutive doubles and then a home run out of Kennedy, Ott, and Linscomb, who have showed up big time and time again this year. That didn't just help the Jaguars out for that inning, but it made things look really good for the rest of the game.
Yeah, all of a sudden your batting order looks different in the late part of the game when you need, or when you want those individuals up at the plate, if they get the opportunity up at the plate again.
2-0 now the count to Brantley after that pitch was way outside as well.
Which we know that as where we are at the top of the order here with the 6th inning, that you're going to get through all those batters again, and you're in a good position.
Well, heck, let's make it so we can get through them another time even tonight.
Yeah.
That's inside on Brantley, and it's 3-0.
Yeah, there's nothing saying you can't go out and score another big cricket number and just say, let's go home.
In fact, with the this year, for the first time in Iowa high school softball, it is an 8-run mercy rule, and we're not like, that's not going to happen tonight, I don't think, as that ball's called a strike on the 3-0. But boy, if this game went to mercy rule, I would be shocked
Yeah, I would
tonight.
be too. No, this game is kind of it's weird. I didn't want to say it early on, but it's kind of gone where I thought it would go. I just, like I said, I know how Urbandale comes to play,
and that pitch on the outside corner now, and it's 3-2 to Brantley.
that one actually I more agreed with than the previous pitch. I'd be honest. That was on the zone.
Yep, I agree.
I think Mary could have taken the opportunity, maybe try to hit one opposite direction there.
Full count pitch to Brantley. Gets around on it, fielded over there at third by Hassan, and Hassan throws it up, and there's a big collision at first as the throw took Haley Crowdis into the path of Brantley running down to first.
Crowdis taking a couple of them there now. Now, Coach Delaney is going to ask if Crowdis interrupted her running by Crowdis coming over into the lane where she had to run through the bag, and it's hard to get this call.
Yeah, it's a very hard call, and actually, if that contact would have caused her to drop it because it was a throw, she would have been ruled safe. But I think that out happened a split second before she stepped into her path as well.
Yeah,
so
it's hard to kind of really reach out, and I understand as a coach you're trying to do that sort of thing, and
we're getting another substitution as it looks like Schumann's going to come back into the game right now to see Faber.
Okay.
And because of that, we'll take a quick break and then be back after this. A U.S. Cellular Call to the Pen on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
We're here at U.S. Cellular, Frost Days, where our customers get exclusive deals just for them. It's like we got our own special club. Should we show them?
Get $1,200 off any phone plus $500 off any tablet. Us days at U.S. Cellular.
Aubrey Schumann comes back into pitch for Urbandale after giving Romy one time through the order, and comes back in for Ava Faber, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Nobody on for the Jaguars as Mary Brantley grounded out. Faber and Kennedy due up yet in this inning. Jaguars leading 7-6.
Yeah, 1 run lead's nice, but I know the Jaguars would like to have 2 or 3 going to that last inning.
One and 0 the count to Faber. Fans have been entertained tonight, and that pitch is a strike on the outside to Faber. One and 1 the count. Big infield for the Jayhawks. There's an off-speed pitch. It drops a little bit low on the inside, and it's 2-1.
Catching a text from my brother telling him it was a good victory. Got my nieces there playing on the south side of town, and he said you're kind of like Nostradamus coming to predicting that this game could be a little tighter than it was the previous 2 games.
I don't think anybody was taking Urbandale lightly tonight. That pitch is low to Faber, and it's now 3-1 to Ava. Yeah, we've been around long enough. We know Urbandale's always going to bring it, even in the games that we talk. Even the games that Mercy ruled them early in the year, they fought the whole time. And Urbandale's a young team. They've actually tended to get behind a little bit and then come back and get into games. But tonight they got the big lead. It's the Jaguars who have come back, and Faber draws the 1-out walk.
Good job by Ava Faber there, just being patient. The one thing that is tough is, Schumann's in a situation where she pitched, you go and you sit down for a little bit, then you have to turn around, you come back into the game. Sometimes that's tough on a pitcher to do that. I understand what they're doing. They're trying to keep the looks different to all the Jaguar batters at the same time, but sometimes you go sit for a little bit. That is a challenge.
So Jordan Kennedy in her 20 home runs step up. She's 2 for 3 tonight. And she rifles that one, and it actually bounces in front of Webster. I thought Webster had a beat on it and it was coming right to her, but it was actually short.
She did, and you know what? What worked against her there, that she's been playing so deep all night, and rightfully so. Typically, she probably gets to that ball and makes the play. In that situation, 2 extra steps just gave it enough room that she couldn't quite get to it.
I think we're going to get a runner for Kennedy, or are we going to get a runner for Faber? Looking to the dugout right now, thinking we're going to score from second. Yeah, they're going to bring a runner in. Addie Frederick will come in and run in a pinch running situation for Faber now. They're thinking two bases with anything to the outfield.
Jordan with her power, and even Matty, we talk about their power. They're pretty good base runners on top of it. We've seen them out there, and they're very they're keen on running bases.
Matty is 2 for 3 tonight. First pitch way outside her. This 3-4-5 batter in the Jaguar order right now. Each of the girls, Kennedy 3 for 4, Ott 2 for 3, Linscomb 2 for 3. They've done the damage tonight. All of them have scored multiple runs, including the home run to tie it up from Linscomb. 1-0 the count right now to Ott. And she rifles that one right up through, and that's exactly why they put Freddie in, and actually gets by Webster. 2 runs going to come around to score. Ott with a single in the error, give the Jaguars some high street insurance runs, and time for a deep breath.
Yeah, I think Jaguar fans are in a little bit better mindset here now. All of a sudden, Matty gets that single, and I was just going to say, that 1 run is nice, but it's a lot better when you get 2. You got Tatum Johnson coming back around the order here when we get back to their part of the lineup, and they're doing what they need to do. This is what they've done all season, and they didn't panic, and here they find themselves in the lead again.
And now Corey Linscomb, who's 2 for 3 tonight, watches that first pitch for a strike. This middle part of the Jaguar order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for 11 tonight at the plate. Incredible. And they're all juniors.
Yeah, it's a number that's you don't see from a lot of batting orders.
0-1 to Linscomb, and gets way around on that one.
She had big eyes on that one. Just got a little out in front of it. I was just going to mention the last time she took the high strike, she knocked the next one out of the park, and she was thinking that again.
0-2 now to Corey.
All right, now she's got to buckle down. She's got to find her way to try to make contact here.
Lauren Bartine waits on deck. Awaits the pitch from Schumann. Little change-up missed upstairs. I wouldn't even call it much of a change-up, more of a little movement on it. But
yeah, a little movement. Maybe a slight off speed, but yep, trying to make it move from high to low.
Now it's 1-2 with Ott on second. Just 1 out right now. Jags could do some more damage here. And that goes off the end of the bat over to short to Schott, and Schott throws it low, makes Crowdis have to go down and get it out of the dirt, but it does move Ott on.
Linscomb grounds out to the shortstop, Ellie Schott, for the second out.
And before Lauren Bartine comes up to the plate, Coach Delaney wants to make sure that he re-entered her back in the game.
Oh, yes.
to hit before.
Yeah. We've seen that over the years where a batter's out there and all of a sudden it's like, whoop, wait a minute.
Yep. Going to check the ball right now as it went off the – you don't often see a righty put the ball off the end of the bat and it goes to shortstop.
Yeah, it was Linscomb was just so out in front of it again. Off the end of the bat, it could have made a little damage to it. It had a lot of spin on it as it was going out to the shortstop.
2 outs here for Lauren Bartine. That's a strike at the knees. Entertaining night on the north side.
Very much so. Just incredible how the game swung the other direction. It's hard to make a game move like that when you get that many runs scored against you in an inning and get down that position.
They just decided to put a bunch of crooked numbers up in 3 more innings as that pitch is upstairs to Bartine. I wouldn't mind seeing one more at-bat for McKenna Foster here.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get to see her.
I always like to see her celebrations, especially when she gets to do that double dance. 1-1 the count right now to Bartine. And Bartine goes up the middle, and dropping the ball is Chloe Reck. She fielded it, had to cover a lot of ground to field it, but as she went up to throw it, the ball went out of her hand.
Yeah, she just, when she was trying to collect herself, she just kind of almost a double pumped and dropped the ball out of her hand. Unfortunately there for her.
Jaguars into double digits now for the 4th time this season against Urbandale, but tonight just felt a little bit different having to get there.
Yeah, you know, this is one of those games where you go, okay, it's 10-6. You know, would you rather been up 10-0 and then let it go to 10-6, or do you just go down 6-0 and go the other direction? I don't know.
I'm not sure. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one to, I think, anybody to answer.
Foster steps up, watches that first pitch for a strike. Jags scored 3 in the bottom of the 3rd, 4 in the bottom of the 5th, and now 3 in the bottom of the 6th. They lead 10-6, which 10-6 sounds good until you find out they trailed 6-0 at one point.
Yeah, no single-digit run innings on the board.
Foster watches that pitch upstairs, and it's 1-1. Fans have got their money's worth tonight.
Yeah, you paid for some softball tonight, you got your money's worth this for sure. Boy, it's been a lot of fun.
1-1 pitch to the senior catcher Foster, future Grandview Viking. And she fouls that one out of play on the right side. Starting to feel a little cool air come in from the night. We might even be down in the 60s by now. It's supposed to get down there tonight.
It was last night. I know I headed out to the golf course late, got some late practicing after the rain. It was about 68 degrees, and I actually put a little extra layer on the top, just amazingly.
Foster gets around on that, and Foster adds another hit to her total, moves Weibel up to second, and now Skaczynski will come up to the plate.
Another good piece of hitting there by McKenna Foster. Just a nice shot there between short and third, and finds herself on base. Kind of continuing that late part of the season. You're seeing a good bat out of McKenna. That's great to see.
For the 3rd time tonight, Hannah Thompson gets to run in and come in and run for Foster.
Now hitting number 36, the pitcher, Aubrey Skaczynski.
Skaczynski high chopper, the Baltimore chop picked up off the ground, and Passon makes the play over at third base, but the Jaguars going to flip the switch. They're 3 outs away from moving on here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Final out in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
So when an athlete walks into Nick Drosh Fitness, the one thing we want them to know is that this is a phenomenal community. We have the best coaching. We have the best technology. We have the programming that can help them succeed. So whether it's trying to get on JV for the first time, going to that next level on varsity, going from a second string to an all-state player, we have the tools, we have the programming and the coaching in order to take each individual to their next level.
Aubrey Skaczynski steps back out in the circle, in line for the win. Came in down 4-0.
She came in at 3-0, gave up the 3-run home run.
That's right, it was 3-0, yes.
Yeah, and then went to 6-0, but she's battled through that and pitched well since that point.
Urbandale, though, they're at a good part of their order to try to make this comeback. The 2-3-4 batters. And as Maddie Reed, Tatum Johnson, and Riley Pruitt going to try to start this comeback. And they've already shown tonight they can make things get funky in an inning.
Yep, they have. They have done that. Here, man, you've heard me say it 1,000 times. Get the first batter, just get that out.
There's a strike to Maddie Reed.
Drives an inning so many times.
And there's a swing and a miss. It's been fun, this playoff atmosphere tonight. The fans have been into it.
They have.
We got the windows open, and it's hopefully you can pick up on some of that excitement from outside as well. 0-2 the count right now to Reed, way outside there.
And that's all right. You know, the only hit that I think after that third inning that she'd given up was she got an 0-2 count and threw one kind of almost across the center of the plate, which I was surprised by, and was hit out there. But
there's a strikeout as Reed went down swinging.
But what I was going to say is Kaczynski has done a great job since that point, and really just been pretty solid out there on the mound. You can see it. You mentioned it too. You can see her body language, and that it means so much. You try to tell young players that it's huge when you're out there to have a presence. Whatever position you're playing, and don't let those little things get to you. Don't let them carry over, and they've done just that here tonight.
Now pitching for the first time with a lead tonight to Tatum Johnson, and the off-speed pitch is a little bit outside for ball one.
And kind of what we'd hope for. It's like we've seen Tatum hit a ball out here numerous times over the years, and to have nobody on the bases, that definitely helps you as a pitcher and already have an out in your pocket.
Throws pretty hard there on the inside, a little bit low, I think.
Must have been down.
2-0.
Yeah, must have been down because that was a pretty good corner pitch, inside corner. Jaguar fans would tell you otherwise.
2-0 right now to Johnson. Catcher here for the Jayhawks. There's a low pitch as well, and it's 3-0. Jags 2 outs away from completing the comeback, which they've had a few against Urbandale over the years.
Had to do it a few times.
You never make things easy.
Kind of held our breath a few times, haven't we, up here?
And that actually hits her on the 3-0 pitch.
She made it official.
Johnson on base for the third time tonight. And she'll get run for again by Rasanki.
Yep.
McKenna Rasanki is running for Tatum Johnson over at first base. Now hitting for the
I was going to ask you earlier, does it look like a couple of those trees out there in the pond maybe got a little lower?
Maybe, yeah. Right before, you can see people out there better.
Yeah.
Glove by Weibel. She throws to second, and they can't quite get the out for the double play. Weibel took away the force by stepping on first, which was fine. She had to do it, but ended up being very close to turning the double play as Faber tried to put the tag on.
Good try there by Weibel. Made a nice tag or field spun and almost got runner at second base, but that's all right. Made the play you need to make. We'll take the out.
Sydney Hassan now 1 out away for the Jags. First pitch outside corner, strike one. Let's see, I don't know, haven't seen yet any finals come across tonight.
I hadn't either.
And that's a ball. Yeah, it'll be Waterloo Western Kennedy. Don't know. Don't have a final on any of those. 1-1 the count, and that's outside, and now 2-1. And there's a called strike. Kennedy beat Waterloo West 2-0 final tonight. So Kennedy won 2-0. And that's outside. The crowd's on their feet clapping right now, but it's a full count. Still got to get this last out.
Yep.
So if Jags can hold on, Kennedy will come to town on Tuesday night with a state tournament trip on the line. Here's the pitch to Pruitt. Full count delivery. Swung on and popped out of play into left field. Something about the postseason atmosphere and these one-game playoffs just get everything going.
There's a different feeling every year, and it's the same. It kind of feels like it's the same feeling, but it's different players, different parents, different.
That ball's fouled back. And I got here 3 hours before the first pitch tonight, and there's over 20 seats already set up in reserve. Fans know they got to get here early.
Yeah.
It is a unique, special atmosphere, softball at Ankeny Centennial.
Yep. Both in here and then also out in the parking lot. There's that little section down there in the right field that has a good view.
Right now,
there's 30 people sitting down there in that corner.
Full count once again to Pruitt. Off-speed pitch popped up, and Jordan Kennedy fades back from her third base spot, gets the out, and the Jaguars in dramatic fashion tonight. Man, you got to tip your cap to Urbandale, though.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Urbandale, as always, come to play, and once again they gave the Jaguars everything that they wanted in a softball game. Just a wonderful job on their part. Don't hang your head. You did what you needed to do and put yourself in a position to be in late in the game there.
10-6, Jaguars win. They will go on and play Cedar Rapids Kennedy on Tuesday night to go to state. They beat Waterloo West tonight 2-0. Fish, as always, it's been a pleasure. And we get to watch some more baseball at home this year, or softball.
That's right.
So we see baseball, too. Monday night, the Jags will be playing baseball to move on as well.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, we get to see more. And, playing a team 4 times in high school, you get it in the majors when you're seeing different pitchers all the time, but seeing a team 4 times in high school, wow, and they come away with 4 wins, I don't care who it is, that's quite the feat.
It's hard to do, and I like I said, I had that conversation this morning. You get into a team multiple times, and they see what you do. Not only you see what they do, but they see what you do, and they in a team like Urbandale that comes ready to play, it's a tough win no matter what every time.
Get here early Tuesday night. There are going to be a lot of fans around the north side of Ankeny as they look to go to state again here. With Coach Brett Delaney, he's got quite the program running here for Ankeny Centennial. For Kevin Fisher and Jess running everything here tonight, I want to thank everybody for listening here on Centennial Digital. This has been another Girl Dad Media production and another Jaguar victory. Normally I would say I'll go celebrate at the cabaret, but tonight we're heading to Summerfest. Dance the night away with the Pork Tornadoes. Thanks for listening, everybody. Another Jaguar win. On to the next round, survive and advance.
Freedom Tire is proud to be the title sponsor of supporting Jaguar student athletes through Centennial Digital. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping your family safely on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Come see us at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of Centennial Digital.